Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Julie and we're going to do another exercise on pronunciation. Last class we learned the pronunciation of the ED ending on verbs that end in T or D. And in this lesson we're going to learn the pronunciation of the ED ending on verbs that do not end in T or D. So let's switch over to our exercise. I'm going to just read these out, these letters, because I'm going to forget them if I try to remember them. So let's read this text together. When ED is added to verbs that do not end in T or D, the ED is not pronounced as a separate syllable, but as a one-syllable ending. The final sound for verbs ending in F, K, P, S, CH, and SH is T. The final sound for the verbs ending in B, G, J, L, M, N, R, V, and Z is D. Note that sometimes other sounds are produced by certain letters. The letter C may sound like S, the GH may sound like F, and the S may sound like Z, okay? So now you don't really have to memorize all of those letter endings by heart to know which sound that you're going to pronounce at the end of each verb, each past tense verb with ED. You don't have to memorize them because the sound is going to come out by itself. Automatically, the sound will come out. You have to pronounce a T or a D at the end of these verbs. Okay, let's see how this works. For instance, the verb to share. Because it ends with the R sound, it will sound like a D at the end. Shared. To raise, it ends with an S, but it sounds like a Z. Raised, also a D sound. To walk ends with a K. Walked sounds like a T at the end. But you see how it automatically comes out? Walked. You're not going to pronounce walked. It just won't come out properly. It automatically just comes out. To chase ends with an S sound. Chased. So you pronounce a T at the end. So now all of my students, not some of my students, all of my students over the last 30 years do this. Let's say they want to pronounce to walk in the past tense. They'll say, yesterday, I walked to school. Yesterday, I walked with my friend. They don't pronounce any ending because they don't know how to pronounce it. So they just give up and they don't pronounce anything. But that is an absolute no-no. It's not acceptable. It's very easy to pronounce an ending on a verb. And you absolutely have to pronounce the ending or it's not in the past tense. Okay, you know the routine by now. Listen carefully and repeat the following sentences. I dreamed that I danced with a prince. So I put in parentheses under the ED ending the sound that you want to make. It took me many hours to do that. I dreamed that I danced with a prince. Okay. She complained about everything the whole time we talked. After every K sound, there's a T sound to finish the verb. It surprised me when she signed the check. I changed the spelling of check for you. C-H-E-C-K. The children touched and smelled the flowers in the garden. She blushed when he whispered in her ear. We walked along the river and talked all day. I brushed the cat and watched the news at the same time. She punished her son because he scratched her car with his bike. He hurried into the house and answered the phone, but he missed the call. She noticed that she earned more than him last year. As soon as he arrived, I told him that he still owed me money. Mario denied that he failed the class. It bothered and annoyed me when you picked my roses. I scraped my elbow and injured my arm when I fell. He smiled and kissed me, then vanished into the night. The man reached into his pocket and pulled out a tissue and wiped her tears. I closed my eyes and listened to the soft music. We believed her because she proved it. He destroyed my grass when he parked his tractor on it. We all agreed that Sydney managed the company very well. She spelled my name wrong, so I erased it. We ordered a lot of wood for the winter, and we chopped it all weekend. It rained after we washed our car. She cooked the meat and boiled the vegetables outside. Corey passed his final exam and obtained his certificate. The boat sailed peacefully on the lake while we observed the stars in the sky. She dressed the baby before the babysitter arrived. My students laughed and joked all day in class. She mixed and stirred my drink, then poured it into a tall glass. We thanked her for her hospitality, then we waved goodbye. The people in the village betrayed the king and he abandoned them. I cleaned and tidied the house, then I relaxed all evening. She washed and waxed the floor in the kitchen. They lowered the price, so we purchased 2. It helped when we employed extra workers for the weekend. Amanda wished, hoped, and prayed for a baby sister. They argued and yelled all night, and it disturbed the neighbors. I asked the waiter for the bill, then realized that I forgot my wallet. The kids played in the pool and jumped on the trampoline all afternoon. We liked it when you lived next door. The mechanic repaired my car and I saved a lot of money. Your dog chased me and I jumped over the fence and I ripped my pants. So there it is. That's how you pronounce the ED ending on verbs that do not end in T or D. You just have to be sure that you pronounce something at the end, either a T or a D sound. Okay, so just keep practicing that. If you have to, go back and do the exercise again and you'll be fine. And if you have to do it 3 times, that's fine too. But just keep doing it and you'll see it'll come very easily after that. Okay, so don't forget to like and subscribe to my, I always say page, but I mean channel, because I'm new on YouTube, so I have to get used to the terminology. So don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. There, I did it better. And get yourselves a copy of Basic English published by McGraw-Hill. This will help you with your adjectives, your verb tenses, irregular verbs, and so much more. It's a very big workbook, and you'll just practice all the things that you need to practice and learn to perfect your English. So this is available on Amazon and other online bookstores. This is the 2nd edition. You guys will be looking for the 3rd edition, already available, okay? Also, if you're having difficulty with your verb tenses, this one is excellent, and it's made just to concentrate on the verb tenses, lesson after lesson after lesson. I'm gonna be putting these up online and we'll be able to do them together. But also it's available on Amazon. So get yourselves a copy of this and we'll start working on this very soon. So you guys have a pleasant rest of the day and I will definitely see you in the next video. Goodbye.